Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another video for Dauntless. Now I put up my first video for this the other day. If you guys haven't seen that, I will link it down below. It's basically a list of reasons why especially Monster Hunter fans should definitely pay attention to this game. But in this video I want to talk slightly more about combat, because up until now gameplay has and still is a little bit limited. We of course have these few clips you're seeing in the background, these are the ones from the website. We have the announcement trailer, and up until a couple of days ago, that was all we had. But a new post went up on the official Dauntless website from combat designer Chris Fox, and in that he spoke a little bit more about gameplay, about combat, stamina management, player choices, things like that. And in that post, we also got a brand new bit of gameplay. About a minute long, it shows a selection of different slayers using different weapons fighting against the Shrike, which is of course the big bear owl monster. And it gives us a better idea as to sort of how the game is going to play out. So in this video, I'm going to break it down for you guys, tell you what you need to know, and hopefully shed some light on some stuff. So if you do enjoy this, like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions. Also, it's worth noting the footage you're going to be seeing is pre-alpha footage, so this is still a very kind of early development build, so things are still subject to change. Also, do bear in mind all these gameplay clips are kind of devoid of HUD, so we don't currently know what sort of HUD elements will be present in-game. Anyway, starting from the top, one of the most important things they want to try and convey in Dauntless is that it's all about, or what they want to try and do, is capture the kind of tension and the excitement of going toe-to-toe with these ferocious beasts, or the behemoths as they are kind of known. And one of the things that Chris Fox said on the post was that slaying something as lethal as a behemoth should be, a rush, in the kind of same way that if you're fighting a massive monster in Dark Souls, like a boss, or if you're fighting a monster in Monster Hunter, you get that kind of adrenaline rush. And they want to make sure that every encounter is fun, strategic, and challenging, and not just like a, run in, hack the enemy until it's dead, sort of hack and slash, speed running kind of gameplay. So they definitely want to try and sort of capture the essence that I think is, definitely really well represented in things like Monster Hunter and Dark Souls. And one of the gameplay systems that's allowing them to do that is the stamina bar. Stamina in Dauntless basically offers players a kind of risk versus reward style decision, because the way that it works is that when you are playing the game, you'll of course have basic attacks, basic combos, things that will probably be comparable to, say, your standard basic attacks and things like Monster Hunter. But you do also have more powerful attacks. These are basically charge attacks. You can of course see the axe here. Charging up takes a little bit longer to attack, so again, akin to something like the Greatsword. These are also the same attacks that I believe kind of consume ether, but the main thing to kind of bear in mind is that they also use stamina. Now, stamina is a bar in Dauntless that is used both for your attacks and for your evasive maneuvers, whereas in something like Monster Hunter, it's just for rolling, blocking, things like that, for the most part at least. And that separation then kind of means it's easier to basically decide what you're going to be doing. So in Dauntless, what they want to try and do is make it so that the player has to decide. If you have a powerful charge attack, that is going to consume stamina. If you then go up and you kind of use too many of these powerful charge attacks and you then consume all your stamina, when it comes to the point where you need to evade and you have to roll away from the monster, you're then going to be in a sticky situation. And of course, conversely, if you spend all your time rolling around, maybe, not necessarily thinking about the kind of bigger picture, then if you get to a point in the fight where the kind of monster presents an opening, maybe it's fallen over, maybe it's kind of turned its back to you, then if you don't have enough stamina to do a more powerful attack, then you're of course going to be, doing yourself a disservice. Not necessarily to say that you need those powerful attacks, but of course if you're trying to make the most of your openings, then the gameplay is going to be a kind of good balance between knowing when to evade and knowing when to attack, and managing your stamina bar appropriately. Also something very kind of present in Dark Souls, if you spend all your time rolling around, then you're of course going to put yourself in a bit of a sticky situation should you need to kind of block or something like that. So really cool system, and it's of course one of those things that they put in because it adds risk to the gameplay. If you have infinite stamina, or you don't have to worry about stamina for, say, your attacks, and you just have it for, say, evasion, then it makes gameplay a lot less risky, especially when you're fighting a monster like this, because you can kind of just go in, hack as much as you want, roll out when you need to, and then the sort of danger element is removed. And one of the things they want to try and convey is, how powerful these behemoths are, the threat they present, and of course all of that is then amplified with the stamina bar. So that is of course one core gameplay element. There's of course loads more to it. There's combos, there's of course all the kind of ether stuff, and of course loads of stuff they have yet to even, share with us. But for the time being, that was kind of look into the kind of combat and the sort of mindset you're going to have to go through whilst playing. A couple of things worth noting, of course, in the gameplay you get to see the ability to evade out of a charge attack. Now, one of the things they said in the post is that this is something that is of course available to players, but it comes at a high cost, because if you're using, say, stamina to charge a powerful attack and you then use stamina to roll out of it, while it's going to be very useful from, say, an emergency exit point of view, it is of course going to come at a higher cost. So if you were, say, in a position where you were charging up for a really powerful attack and you just had to roll out, you might not then have the freedom to, say, just go straight back in afterwards and charge that next powerful attack because you might have consumed a lot of stamina. But that does, of course, open doors up for, you know, better evasion. Being able to cancel out big moves is a really, really nice thing to have, because being stuck in sort of like a lengthy animation can be really annoying and can also get you killed. So again, some really cool options. Sounds like they have a really good idea for sort of how they want combat to feel. So I personally cannot wait to go hands-on with this, you know, test it out for myself, see how it feels, because one of the most important things in combat is just going to be how it actually feels to, you know, hit the monster, get hit, and just play out those combat scenarios. So hopefully there's some good weight to it, but for the time being, that was a look at some gameplay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of a better idea as to kind of how the game plays out. Of course, there are still many more mysteries, and once we do get more information, once they share more with us, I will of course keep you guys up to date. But for the time being, thank you for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.